Good morning. It's such an honor to be here this morning to share this amazing partnership with all of you in the hopes that it inspires more cross-country collaboration. This morning, I'm going to start with just giving you a little bit more information about Los Angeles, and then Kevin will speak more about the One Heart, Two Loves campaign. So as you can see from the statistics on the slide, there is Los Angeles City and Los Angeles County, which is the region or province that the city of Los Angeles sits in. Very comparable statistics in terms of how Los Angeles and Seoul look together. And you can see the geography in terms of the region. Population, square mile is pretty much the same, but what people don't realize is how big, really big LA County is. This shows you 40 of the 50 US state capitals could fit inside the county of Los Angeles. And what you may not know, I'll give you some fun tidbits, is that we actually even have islands that are part of LA County. The thing that strikes you about Los Angeles, and many of you have probably heard, is people think of Los Angeles as the land of the entertainment industry, Disneyland, Beverly Hills, that everything is prospering. And while that is true, we truly are a region of the haves and the have-nots. And a lot of people, until recently, did not understand the levels of poverty that existed in our region and our community. Almost half of our population in the county of Los Angeles is working poor or below. So that is a reality that we're dealing with, and I will share a little bit more about some of those challenges. But what I love about Los Angeles, I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and have been in Los Angeles for 25 years. It is truly, Los Angeles is a global city. It is so diverse, and I wanted to just share with you a couple of quick statistics that you may not know. We are home to people from over 140 countries in Los Angeles County, and more than 224 other languages are spoken. So it really shows you the opportunity in terms of us harnessing the United Way Worldwide Network. So as Brian said to Kevin, there's a lot resting on our shoulders for this initial partnership, but what better country to start with than South Korea? We have the largest Asian population of any county, so we have 1.6 million persons of Asian descent, and that is what I truly believe makes Los Angeles special and thriving, is our diversity. And so we really don't identify in terms of the playground of the rich and the entertainment industry of Beverly Hills. We really celebrate the diversity, and we hope that you will come to Los Angeles so that we can showcase it for you. As I mentioned, the other side of Los Angeles and the challenges that we work on are those that are facing the working poor. And as it was said, we really do believe that no one should be left behind. So in Los Angeles, our work is really centered on three things: education, economic mobility, and housing for our homeless neighbors. And unfortunately, what you may not know is that Los Angeles has the distinction of being the homeless capital of the U.S. So that leads us to our partnership, which I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts on before I turn it over to Kevin. And we were very lucky that CCK actually approached us to enter into a dialogue about having a partnership. So I asked the amazing Hu Young what she would want me to share with you about this partnership, and what she said to share with you is that it's a lot of work. So this shows you our signing ceremony, but I would say that just like I think the campaign One Heart, Two Loves really says it, it is like entering into a marriage. We had many dialogues. We dated first, But it was a real commitment with both organizations. We have traveled to Seoul. This is my second trip, which I hope will be many more. We have hosted CCK team members in Los Angeles. There are lots of conference calls back and forth in terms of really what level of commitment were we willing to make, looking at the operations, looking at budgets, looking at staffing, looking at fundraising goals. So this is not something that either organization entered into lightly. But it has been a great journey for us, and it is a great model of what is possible in Los Angeles. I would also like to recognize Chris Coe and Unji on my team, they are the amazing backbone of this effort. And the last two things I would share with you are, one, I often find that Americans think that we have all the answers. And I would say that we really owe CCK a great debt of gratitude. We have learned much more from you, I think, than we have offered. And that is the great lesson of a cross-border collaboration, is the sharing and learning. We were fortunate last summer to talk about collective impact and what that looks like in Los Angeles and what it can look like here. As I turn it over to the amazing man on my right, I would say none of this happens without leadership. So Kevin Kim, who's very humble, is a CEO of a major bank in Los Angeles called Bank of Hope. He is very busy. The bank is growing. And amidst all of that, he agreed to lead this effort of our One Heart, Two Loves campaign. It never would have happened without him, and his vision is really to elevate Korean philanthropy and leadership and the vision that we can change the world. So with that, I will turn it over to this amazing leader, Kevin Kim.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Liz, and thank you, everyone, and good morning. Can I have that? Thank you. Here, this slide, you can see the strategies for success that we laid out for this program. But the very first item, which says double the impact with one gift, I think, which is the main concept and main strategy for this campaign. I think it would make sense for me to briefly go over my background, which may help you understand the importance of this concept for the success of this partnership between CCK and the United Way. I was born and raised and educated up to the undergraduate degree in Korea. Upon completion of my compulsory military service as a Korean citizen, I went to the United States, more specifically to Los Angeles, California, in 1982 at the age of 25. Since then, I have been living in Los Angeles all these years. The reason that I went to the US was to pursue my graduate degree. So I spent the first 25 years of my life in Seoul, Korea, and the next 30-something years, I will not be specific, in the United States. As a foreign student at first and as an immigrant in the United States, I have been a recipient of a lot of benefits that the American system has to offer. First of all, I was a beneficiary of the well-established American education system as I completed my business degree and then law degree in the United States. In the advanced and sophisticated American social and financial systems, I have had successful careers, professional careers as a CPA, and then as a lawyer, and then as a banker now. I have always felt that I owe a lot to the American society, and I have to do my share of giving back as a responsible member of the community and the society. That is how I first became affiliated with the United Way of Greater Los Angeles and began to work with Elise as a board member I think it was in 2014. When the idea of joint efforts or joint charitable giving was first brought to my attention, I thought it was a very unique and the most ideal arrangement for most of the Koreans living in the States, living in the United States, including myself. I have always considered myself as a Korean, irrespective of where I have been domiciled or where I have my legal citizenship. Through this joint program, you can make a very positive impact in two different countries with one single gift. And that the two countries that would benefit from your donation would be the two countries that you love and the countries that you have some kind of obligations to serve. Further, by making the donation to the United Way organization, donors can get the full US tax benefit for the entire amount, including the 50% which would ultimately go to the Community Chest of Korea. Direct donation to CCK or any other foreign organization would not be tax deductible for US tax purposes. I was convinced that this program, if carefully designed and properly executed, could be hugely successful. I'm just one of the 1.1 million Koreans living in the United States, and I believe many of them have similar thoughts or feelings, although in a lesser or greater degree, about the two countries, i.e. Korea, where they are originally from, and the United States, where they live, work, and raise their kids. I believe this unique charitable giving concept will be equally compelling to any other ethnic community in the U.S. who can benchmark the One Heart, Two Loves campaign by CCK or between and by CCK and the United Way. So double the impact with one gift is a very compelling concept for Koreans living in the United States. And when I shared this concept with the people that I talked to convince them to participate in this program, you know, it was a very easy sell because they thought about giving back to the community or giving back to the society, and some of them were already giving back to Korea or less frequently to the United States. But I told them that they owe things to the United States, or at least the community that they have been successful in their business or whatever the venture that they have been doing. And I think it was a very, very productive conversation and productive engagement when I talked to other people who I really wanted to participate in this program. And other strategies for success in this slide, we have different levels of giving, and because this is just in the initial stage, we did not have the organized effort to solicit more participants, and I had to use my personal network. But by today, we have already 8 honor society members, so we can utilize a much broader network. And I hope to see that this campaign is becoming more and more successful as the years go by. And the shared vision between United Way and the Community Chest of Korea is also an important concept or strategy for success of this program. And the rest of the slides are the pictures. These are the participants in the program. And I think this slide is the United Way, what do you call this? Homework for the homeless. And Bank of Hope which I work for in Los Angeles, participated in this event. And I think the ladies in green shirts are Bank of Hope employees. Oh, this is it. Okay, so I think we are running out of time, but if we may, I would like to entertain a few questions from the audience. Okay, actually oh. Yes. I think the question is, do we talk about specific impact in Korea from this program?
Sorry, the question was, do you select the same impact focus in Los Angeles and in Korea, like education, for example, or do you make it very specific to each locations?
Well, we leave the use of the funds to the respective organizations, i.e. the Community Chest of Korea and the United Way of Greater Los Angeles. And these two organizations are very reputable, charitable organizations, and I think the participants really feel very comfortable about the way that these organizations are run and operated, and I don't really have any concern about how the money is used or how the funds are used from this program.
예, 뒤에 스태프분 계시면 마이크 좀 조정해 주세요.
Kevin, I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about the structure of the Korean community in Los Angeles in terms of not hierarchy, but the makeup of the community, and then in addition to, you know, one heart, two loves, you know, you want to support both places. What else was motivating to colleagues as you talk to them about you know, so what about business leaders versus entrepreneurs versus professionals in the Korean community? What did you find as you were having those conversations?
Well, the Los Angeles is the city where the most of the Korean Americans live. And we have a pretty large community in Los Angeles, and the community has been economically prosperous for the last 20, 30 years. With the growth of Korean economy back home, I think the Los Angeles Korean American community has also grown. And we have a lot of wealthy, affluent business people who knew how to make money and how to accumulate wealth, but who did not have a lot of idea about how to use the wealth that they have accumulated. And obviously they have a lot more money that they would need for themselves or for their kids. So I think we need some more educating or training opportunities for them, so that they understand and they learn how to give back to the community where they have become successful. And they did not have an idea that at first, not many people have an idea that they have to give back to the American society as well. And I told them, you know, you work hard, and that's how you became successful. I will accept that. But if you had made the same kind of efforts in a different setting, in a different society, you may not have been as successful as you are today. So you owe a lot to the American society that you have accumulated your wealth. And a lot of people began to understand the need to give back in the community. Although they did not have a lot of interaction with the mainstream community in the US, that is something that not a lot of people really realize. I did not have any difficulty explaining to them the need to give back to Korea, where they originally came. So I am not necessarily in favor of the sales pitch that whatever you contribute to this program, the 50% will go back to Korea and the other 50% will be used for the Korean American community in the Los Angeles area, and I'm not against that. I'm against that. We should sell the idea that the 50% will be spent by the United Way for the general needs of the Los Angeles community, not necessarily the Korean American community. Do you have anything else?
I think you can see that Kevin is a very inspirational leader. So I will say he is the magic ingredient that makes this partnership work. And I think the name of his bank tells you all you need to know about him, Bank of Hope. So thank you, Kevin, for your leadership, and thanks to all of you.